keep referring to. Refer possible approval to direct FERC Council to intervene in Nevada Energy Sierra Pacific merger and associated transmission tariff filing.
The
Don't know, you want to explain that to us?
Nevada Energy and Sierra Pacific, two separate companies. They work under the parent company of NV Energy, but they're separate companies. They want to merge those two companies so that it'll be one company, north and south. Part of that merging is contingent upon the completing of the online project between Ely and Crystal substations. In doing that, they are filing additional or changes to their transmission tariffs, which will directly affect us, as well as to their ancillary service charges, which may affect us. We have discussed with Lincoln County Power participating with them in a filing, intervening with Tim Shubin, an attorney that they have used. We've all had it so discussed with Arnold Pogorski, who's worked for us in the past, and we've also had the discussions, although not about him serving us, but Silverstein and Mr. Silverstein, who's going to represent Colorado River Commission and Southern Nevada Water Authority. That group will address issues that have some modest effect on us, but they will be addressing those issues on behalf of all their customers. And we are a customer of CRC. The Shuba, Tim Shuba also represents organizations in northern Nevada, and in our discussions with him, there is a group there that would share that cost, and is the most economic way for Overton and Lincoln to participate in this is to work with Mr. Shuba in that, in filing. What he's recommending we file is a docketless intervention, which allows us to receive all the information, and if we have comment, we can make it. But we don't really take an active role in the legal proceedings. Our goal would be to protect our tri-party agreement we have with Nevada Power, and we believe that would be our number one goal. The second goal would be to minimize the impact of transmission rates that are proposed. Those rates, as proposed, would increase our costs somewhere in the $1 million a year range, which represents about a 5% rate increase to all of our customers brought on by Nevada Power merging with Sierra Pacific. So we'd like to try to minimize that and avoid that. Certainly those transmission charges are one of the areas Colorado River Commission is going to emphasize, as well as Mr. Shuba on behalf of the northern customers. There is a bit of a conflict there on where those funds are allocated. Do you do it more heavily to the industrials, to the residentials? How much of the north gets relief and the costs shift to the south? Those are all issues that are going to be dealt with, and we need to be at that table, especially when we face that kind of risk. So originally this filing, we had to have made a response by the 16th, and Lincoln went ahead and prepared a response. There was a continuation till July 1st, so there's now time for us to become involved and proceed in that program. So that's the recommendation, that we enter into an agreement with Mr. Shuba to proceed with a docketless filing and share those costs as were identified in the
I think one thing that's important to add is the docketless filing does not prevent us from fully intervening later if we see a need to.
So the issue grows. So.
What is the justification for the tariff increase based on the merger?
The big thing is that online project rolled into the transmission cost. It's $600 million, which is roughly what I think they have in their transmission program now. So it almost doubles the transmission cost, a lot of it's getting rolled into the southern transmission rates.
So it's not an attempt to keep the merger from taking place. That's probably already taking place. It's an attempt to keep them from passing that transmission cost on to us.
It's our goal is to cause the least amount of harm to Overton Power by being involved there. We don't think there's any way to avoid. In our discussions, we've come to the conclusion there's not a way to avoid those charges. We are a transmission customer. We do take transmission. Nevada Power has built a transmission system to benefit all of their customers, and we probably have an obligation to pay a portion of that. How do you minimize that? One is through our tri-party agreement. The other one would be through making sure the costs associated there are, or built into that formula, are appropriate. And that's where Colorado River Commission obviously has greater expertise in, and we'll follow that closely as a customer of CRC. And those are the two areas we can see that we can maybe minimize the impact there. And we obviously want to avoid having to begin to take ancillary services from Nevada Power. They obviously would like us to do that. We don't want to do that. The tri-party agreement protects that relationship. That could be an additional cost. We have looked at moving many of those responsibilities over to Western. In order to do that, there's about a $400,000 to $500,000 metering, real-time metering obligation we would have to install. But at $1 million, well, you still have the transmission cost, but those ancillary service costs, you could probably recover those in 2 or 3 years. That investment will pay for itself within 2 or 3 years. So we'll have to see what happens with some of that, but that's part of the ongoing legal proceedings. We'll have to keep the board updated. Not a rosy picture for us. Not a rosy picture for Valley Electric or Lincoln or Boulder City or any of the other customers in Nevada Power's territory. It's an increase in costs.
So what we're basically paying for is a voice and
Have some input and hopefully protect our position as best we can. We're obviously pretty small players in this market, but we need to do our best to protect our interests.
and this is the cheapest way we can do it.
This is the least cost. We certainly wouldn't hire a cheap lawyer.
No, I know you're not cheap. I'm just saying by sharing his cost, though, it's the
It is.
cheapest way we can do it.
We've looked at going our own. Podgorski is $450 an hour plus expertise on the staff level. Now, Shuba is $700 an hour plus.
But we've got six,
But we've
5 or
got,
6 members.
yeah,
that
you're
pay
going to
as
split
well.
that cost. So in our mind, that's the best route to take.
Any discussion?
Trace, your thoughts on bringing in for council?
Oh, I agree with the recommendations. You either do something like that or you have no voice and no ability to either negotiate or otherwise sway some advantage for OPD.
And I probably should indicate that Byron will work closely with this individual in the proceedings. Obviously, we're not lawyers. Probably a lot of people that wish that they were, believe they know, but we'd rather rely on expertise than speculation. So Ken Bloomfield always thought he was an authority, but
Yeah, we're still paying that debt off.
yeah, we still are.
Is there a money figure that goes on this?
I think we put 20,000 there. I don't think it'll go to that much, but it depends upon how much we get involved and how long this thing goes on. So,
How long are they thinking this will go on?
well, they've already gotten one extension. The original filing was intended to be completed by January 1. I think they will probably not meet that goal. So,
Any further discussion? Rally.
The Warren Buffett
agreement with NV Energy,
acquisition
when does that run out?
changes.
Our tri-party,
Yeah.
it's an evergreen, although there's some speculation about how green the leaves are in that agreement, so.
I was just wondering when Mid-America takes over.
They may come, Mid-America may come and make an offer to clean some of these relationships up. I don't know, that's yet to be seen, that's down the road, but I think there'll be some effort to deal with that, so. But that'll be another issue, I hope.
I'm sure our grandfatherly fellow will take care of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? Looking for a motion to authorize the manager to retain FERC counsel and to proceed with the filing of the Energy Sierra Pacific merger. Cost will be shared with Newmont, City of Fallon, Truckee, Donner, Lincoln, and others. I have the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.